Great. Well, now that we've organized and we picked some colors for our home, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about accessorizing. And every month this year, I'm doing a little bit different focus during my shows. And this month, in February, I'm doing a focus that I call Walls That Wow. And what this is all about is taking your walls and making them just say wow to your friends and family and to you, so that you're not looking at just plain walls. And it's so easy to do. And so what I want to do is give you a few tips for making your walls say wow, and then show you a little bit with our products and our catalog, and then we'll be done with the show and you can place your orders. So starting out, if you take your wish list that I gave you early on, that you've been writing down the things that you want, if you flip it over, on the back is a flyer about Walls That Wow, and it gives you 4 tips for doing your walls. And the first tip is to pick something that you love. Now what I like to do is pick something that goes with my colors, and either if I'm setting a new color theme, I might set it with a piece of artwork. For example, this is our Forest Colors artwork, and it has so many pretty colors in it, all the way from kind of an aqua blue, a muted aqua blue, to the greens, the tans, the reds. So you could pull some colors out of this, or if you have any of these wall colors, you could use this. And in fact, this picture looks so different on different color walls, and I'm going to try to help you visualize that just with some little paint chips. For example, this is the color of the walls in most of my house. It's kind of a blondish yellow, and this looks great when you put this on this color. All of a sudden you see the lightness, you see the light color leaves and the painting come out. If you have a brick red wall, all of a sudden you're going to see, I guess it's kind of hard to see against my shirt, but you're going to see the reds in the forest floor and in the trees come out. You can even do this on a more aqua wall. This is a deep aqua, and it'll bring out the aquas and the teal kind of colors in here. And of course it works really well on green. So lots of different colors can be brought out in this painting just with the different paint chips. So depending on what colored wall you have, you may want to accent that wall with a painting or bring out some other colors in your room. So just pick things that you love, things that make you feel good. I hate art that is confusing. For me, I want my art to be soothing, and so this just makes me visualize being in a nice woods. So pick out some things that you love. The second rule of thumb is to space your art close together. So if you're going to put 2 paintings together, and this is just a single painting, but if you're going to put a set of paintings together, or if you're going to put sconces, wall pockets, other artwork together with it, the rule of thumb is to go no more than 6 inches apart. Sometimes you want to go even an inch apart, especially if it's a set of paintings that's designed to go together, and we have some of those in our book. But what I use as a rule of thumb is the width of your hand. About the width of your hand apart is a good place. So if I were going to put this wall pocket, for example, next to this piece of art, when I put it on the wall, I'd want to put it about a hand's width apart. Maybe a little bit farther, a little bit closer, but you don't want to gap it too far apart. Then, as far as how high you should hang your art, and this is one of the things that I see more often than not in homes, is that art is hung too high. Now, I'm 5 foot even, and so my eyes are a little bit lower than other people, but the rule of thumb is to hang your artwork at eye level. And so you take kind of the focal point of the painting, and that should be at your eye level. Now, because I am shorter, I'm 5 foot, 5'6", 5'7" is about your average. For me, I put it at eye level, and then I move it up about 6 inches, and then I know it's at the perfect height for most people. So don't hang your art too high, and I know a lot of you probably have husbands who are 6 foot tall or higher, and when they hang the art, it's probably almost grazing the ceiling. Well, that doesn't show off your art the best way. Now, when you're hanging above a piece of furniture, a sofa table, a sofa, a chair, or whatever, because you want to have a cohesive grouping, the rule of thumb there is 6 to 10 inches above the back of the sofa. So if you're going to hang it above the back of a love seat, the back of a table, 6 to 10 inches is a good gap. And the larger the artwork, the smaller the gap, the smaller the artwork, the larger the gap. So those are kind of some rules of thumb that you want to follow. As well, when you're hanging above furniture, the width of your arrangement should be 60% or so, 60 to 70% of the width of the couch. Or the piece of furniture that you're hanging above it. So if you're doing, say, above a king-size bed, measure the width of the headboard, divide by 3 and multiply by 2 to get 2/3. So let's say if it's 60 inches, 2/3 of that is 40 inches. Your entire arrangement is going to want to be 40 inches wide or so, plus or minus a little bit. What you don't want to have is an arrangement that's too narrow or way too wide. And so I'll show you a few pictures of that as well in our catalog. Some of the things I wanted to show you is kind of to mix things up on your walls. You don't have to all have just paintings, and I already showed you how you can put the wall pocket, either one on the side or one on each side. You can do that with sconces as well. You can also mix in some of our metal pieces, and I'll show you those in the catalog, but these pieces are just fantastic to mix in. There's this red piece, and then there's a green piece that says family, and you could put 2 of them stacked on the side of the painting. One of the things I'm recommending to people, if you have that wall of family photos, that they're important to you because they are your family, but it just becomes kind of a mass of faces. Kind of work in some of these. So have a few photos, and then one of these, and then a few photos, and then the family whatever. It gives you that color blocking. It also breaks up the wall of pictures and makes it much more interesting. So you may want to try that as well. So let's go to the catalog and just take a look at a few things that I wanted you to see in the catalog. First, on page, if you'd follow along with me, on page 4 and 5, I'm sorry, 5 and 6, we do have the pieces that I was just talking about that you can mix with other paintings or pictures, but they also work really good in a narrow spot. 2 or 3 of them in that small spot between a window and a door really will fill in that space nice. Here's a good example of that 60% rule. Above a couch, and most couches have 3 cushions. So to get 2/3 of the couch, you want to go from the middle of the first cushion to the middle of the 3rd cushion. That'll be 2/3 perfectly, and see how the width of that arrangement is just perfect for that size sofa. A lot of our pictures are indoor-outdoor pictures. This bicycle print is really popular this year, and what that means is you can put it on a porch, you can put it on a fence, you can put it in a bathroom, a wet bathroom, and so that's a great way to have that beautiful artwork go with you. And then of course you can accent not only with sconces but with our wall pockets like I showed you before. Another great way to do a wall is to mix in some word signs. And this is good with your family photos, but also with art. Just pick out some words that you love that mean something to you and mix them in with your artwork. Okay, what do we got next? Metal. Metal on the wall is really popular. We've got about 4 different pieces of metal, 4, 5, 6 maybe even, pieces of metal throughout the catalog. And what we've done here with our indoor-outdoor on the pure print is we've flipped a piece of metal. So we have the same piece of metal, and we've used it frontwards and then backwards on the wall to frame that sofa, or to frame that picture, and then also to make it 2/3 the width of the sofa. So that's a really good approach to do. Okay, let's take a look. This family tree. This is another metal piece that I'm recommending that you mix in with your family photos. Mostly your family photos are going to be in rectangular frames, probably not very interesting frames, and when you add something like this, it adds that curvy softness and it adds some interest to your whole arrangement. So that's a really nice direction to go. And then these beautiful pieces are fantastic. How many of you have the big screen TV that's on the wall, that's kind of taken up most of the wall, and it's just like this big gray blob? Yep, we've all got it. And these, or the Tuscan Squares prints, look great on either side of the TV. You're going to want to make sure that your artwork's in proportion to the size of your TV, so measure how high it is. But I've had several customers put either 2 of these, one on each side, or 2 of these on each side. Now, earlier on when we were talking about our candlesticks, we talked about putting the tall one on the left. Remember that? When you're doing a grouping, if it's not a completely balanced grouping, quite often you'll have a tall piece and then some shorter pieces, or you'll have a heavier piece and then some lighter pieces. Rule of thumb, again, rule of thumb, no decorating police are going to come and get you, is that you want the tall one on the left, because that's the way our eyes flow. So then you're going to say, hey Trace, wait a second, in this page the tall one's on the right. And the reason for that is that the way this room is arranged, what we're trying to do is echo the lines of the furniture. So if we have the tall one on the left, it would kind of collide with this chair, and instead it echoes the lines. So rule of thumb are exactly that. You don't have to exactly follow it. Go with your gut. But when you're doing a massive arrangement, if there is a heavier piece and it's just a plain wall, then try to put it on the left. And then I've got one more tab, and this just kind of shows how you can pull the whole room together with a great wall that wows. With the trees, and this one we do have the tall one on the left, but the trees, the painting, and another set of trees, and just pulls that whole room together. So I hope you got some tips that you can use in your home. I'd love to take a look at the pictures you might have brought with you of walls that you want to work on, and maybe we can find some things that will help you out. Now, like I said, I'm doing something different each month, and next month the focus of the month is recipe for kitchen clutter. Now, I know when we were talking about drop spots, quite a few of you said kitchen table, kitchen counter, your junk drawer, your pantry, all of those areas, and they all kind of center on the kitchen. And so next month we will be talking about various solutions for those drop spots in your kitchen that are driving you crazy.